What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I have an awesome guest here, Judd. He is someone who we operate in kind of similar niches, and so we've kind of seen each other's content for a long time, and that kind of thing. And we ended up, being very cool with each other, very friendly with each other, and even though we're kind of operating in the same niche, and Judd ended up kind of seeing some of the success I was having on my channel and then ended up joining my probably one of the very first students in the coaching program. And I wanted to bring him on the channel so he can talk about his journey going through the coaching program and improving his YouTube channel. So, Judd, thank you so much for coming on. And yeah, could you very briefly just tell people kind of like what you do on your channel and where maybe a little bit of an origin story of the channel?
Yeah, happy to, and thank you. So I started my channel back in 2017. I'm a stay-at-home dad, so at the time I was actually working two jobs. I was driving for Uber and I would clean windows. I was the guy that would like knock on the storefronts, "Hey, can I clean your windows?" Because I was just having a hard time finding work at my age, even though I'd worked in corporate for so many years. Uh, I couldn't find a job, so I kind of had to take matters into my own hands. And in doing so, I would spend my evenings like on YouTube, right? Like a lot of people, searching for ways to work from home, different, just looking for anything to make some additional income. And in doing that, I started to learn more about actual YouTubers and what they do and how are they making money and how are they growing a business. And that's kind of really where the channel started to evolve. And I just started by doing simple screen share videos where I would do screen share videos of different software tools I was using and recommend different products as an affiliate. And I think the first or maybe second year that I was doing YouTube, because I really wasn't making any money the first 2 years. It was a lot of experimentation, and I had no coaching, no training. It was all just self-taught, consuming hundreds of hours of YouTube. I made a few videos on how to work from home. I think it was a remote job video, and that took off. And so that was kind of the sign that, oh, there's something here. So I started to make more remote job videos and more work from home videos, even though I didn't intentionally go in to make those types of videos, but that's what the audience wanted. And that really is what uh, kind of catapulted my YouTube career.
I love your origin story. I think that's such a relatable origin story because especially now, I mean, 2017 was one thing, but especially now, this is one of the toughest job markets I think I've ever seen.
Hmm.
I mean, people are
Hmm.
with AI just popping up, and then the economy is not the best that it's ever been right now.
Hmm.
It's kind of the combination of those two things has made the job market really rough right now. I mean, people are getting laid off left and right. I think companies are honestly laying off way too many people, and I actually think that the companies like services are not as good because of that in
Yeah.
many cases. But yeah, it's a very relatable origin story because that's happening to so many people right now, and I
Oh
think
yeah.
that the economy is really heading towards on a maybe some people would disagree with me on this, but just my opinion is I think the economy is really heading towards less people being employed in a job and more people being employed kind of just doing their own thing, like being self-employed
Hmm.
essentially, like whether it's side
Hmm.
hustles or gig economy or starting their own business. There's a lot of like platform opportunities. Amazon is a platform business where essentially like they take care of like 80% of the difficulties of starting a business and you just have to figure out the 20%, on
Hmm.
Amazon, like kind of just the marketing and the product sourcing essentially. Same thing with YouTube. It's a platform business. They take care of like 80% of the problems. You just have to figure out like kind of 20%. And a lot of other ones, Amazon, KDP and a bunch of other businesses as well. And so it's really easier than ever to kind of like start your own business online and start your own thing online. You can kind of just do it on the side while you're working a job, or if you lose your job, you can do it. And so I really do think that the economy is heading towards that, where just a lot more people are just going to be kind of doing their own thing, freelancing, side hustles, ways of making money outside of just working for a traditional company, essentially. I think that's really the way that the market is heading. That's a very relatable and very interesting origin story. All right, guys, in the editing process right now, and I just wanted to mention that if you're struggling to grow on YouTube, you're having trouble getting views, subscribers, making money, or even picking a niche, I'm going to be hosting a free one-time live workshop that goes over exactly how to help with that. It's going to be the YouTube content advantage for making money. And also, make sure to click the link in the description and the pinned comment below so you don't miss out. And if you attend live, you'll also have a chance to be the one person I pick for a real-time channel audit once we move into the interactive portion of the workshop. And if you feel unsure about what niche to choose, or you're worried that your niche might be too broad or it's not profitable enough, then this workshop is for you, because I'll be giving away the 60-second niche validator 2.3 completely free. This is the latest and most optimized version of my GPT powered niche validation tool, and it helps you instantly test and uncover profitable YouTube niches before you waste time creating content that doesn't bring in leads, sales, or money. It's smarter, faster, and trained on even more data from real profitable channels, and I'll be giving it away completely free, but only at this live workshop. And just a heads up, this might be one of the last times I give this tool away for free, because I'm planning on making it into a actual software. So if you've been on the fence, this is definitely a good time to pick it up. Now, during the workshop, there's a full presentation on how to grow on YouTube, followed by a Q&A where you can ask me questions directly on Zoom. And people do ask a lot of questions, the majority of the time about niche, and many people walk away with niche clarity during the session itself. And the same strategies I teach are the ones that help clients like Nicole, who went from 85 subscribers to $85,000 in a single month, Seth, who went from years without a viral video to immediately getting 300,000 views right after starting working with us, or Davis, who scaled from 100K a month and was able to remove himself from recording. And even people who aren't clients, like Isaiah, were able to make $20,000 only using the free content and live workshop strategies. So make sure you show up, click the link in the description or the pinned comment to register, and add it to your calendar so you don't miss the chance to grab the 60-second niche validator AI. And if you missed the date, that's okay. Check the link still to see when the next workshop is happening, or to sign up to a list that will tell you when the next one does. So see you Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now back to the video. Tell me about how you discovered my channel. Well, I kind of already know, but yeah, tell the audience about how you discovered my channel, and then how you discovered the CGE coaching and joined the coaching program.
I discovered your channel because after I made my first couple remote job videos, I was searching for other remote job videos to make. And this dude, Shane, kept popping up, Shane, Shane, Shane. And there were a couple other people in the remote job space at that time. But, I like to think that you and I are kind of the OGs when it comes to the remote job stuff. There were a
Mm-hmm.
couple people, but now there's like everybody, and just like anything, right? It takes over. But at the time, there were a couple of us, and you did a lot more of like certification kind of career stuff, but you did a lot of remote job. So we definitely kind of, our content obviously kind of crossed over. So I started watching more of your videos because I was like, what's he doing that I'm not doing? Because I'm not getting the views that Shane's getting. My audience isn't growing. And his videos, the editing and they just they seem more polished. Not that my videos had to be super edited or anything like that, but I could definitely tell that you had a system or a structure going on that I did not. Because my process was, I'd wake up and I would go to YouTube and I just kind of start searching. My keyword research was the extent of putting in the word remote jobs and then searching, searching
Mm-hmm.
for videos. I'd find a
Mm-hmm.
couple. I like, oh, I can make this one. I can make this one. And I pretty much, my channel went on like that. Uh, that was my method until about a year ago when I ended up
Mm-hmm.
finding you. Well, ended up signing up for the coaching program. And the reason I ended up reaching out to you was because I think it was 2024 was probably my worst year on YouTube. Um, and up until that point, everything was going great. The money was great, the AdSense was great, my affiliate offers, I had some of my own digital products. But the problem was I couldn't repeat my success. And it's just me, right? I do it on my own. I'm a stay-at-home dad. I got two kids, and this is my side hustle, but I also like to tell people this is my retirement package because I'm 53. So I don't just do it for fun. I need to make money, obviously, but I really
Mm-hmm.
enjoy doing it. I think I was watching one of your videos one day and you had mentioned the content growth engine program. You were doing some coaching and doing some things. And I actually had put it off for about a year. I should kind of take a step back. I had actually looked at it about a year prior. And honestly, I just felt like I could, if I'm being honest with myself, I was like, I can't do that. I didn't, for whatever reason, I didn't have that self-belief that I could actually do everything that you were teaching.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel like it was for me for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And then it took me a year to realize no, this is ridiculous. This is what I need. And I,
Mm-hmm.
and I can do that because I knew that I needed a more systemized approach to doing YouTube instead of just coming up with ideas because my videos that were successful and the way that I was successful on YouTube is I had a few videos that went viral and those really kind of carried me each year,
Mm-hmm.
but I couldn't repeat that success.
Yeah.
So that's when after a year of probably thinking about it, I finally reached out to you guys and said, let's go because
Mm-hmm.
my wife and I actually my wife's we got to the point where my wife and I talked, and she's like, maybe you should just stop doing YouTube. Maybe you need to go back to work. Like, what could you do? And I'm like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what I could. I go, I haven't worked a real job in 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
I, I said, number one is I don't think I can go back to work. Nobody's going to hire me. But number two, I don't want to. Like, I want to figure this YouTube thing out.
Yeah.
I've invested too much into it. I love it. I'm going to figure this out. And I said, I believe Shane is the man to do it for me, him and his team. And I was like, I want to do this, and so we
Yeah.
did.
That's great. That's great. What's happening, guys, in the editing process of this video, and I have an opportunity for a select group of people. So these are people who are serious about growing their personal brand on YouTube. So basically, we figured out recently how to grow a personal brand and combine all the upsides of a personal brand with the upsides of automation, right? Using AI, using things like this to basically grow your personal brand 10 times faster, which in the past used to take decades to do. And now you can do it significantly faster. And you can do this to get a better job. We work with beginners that just want to get a better job with their personal brand. You can do this to make money as a side hustle. We work with a lot of people like that. We can do this to make more money if you already have a side hustle or a small business. Or if you're already crushing it on YouTube, we can help you crush it 10 times more. We've worked with people like that as well. I mean, I literally can show clients at each level, people that we've gotten from 0 to over 10K, 0 to like over 30K, from like 1K per month all the way up to 185K per month, from around 30K per month all the way up to over 500K per month. So literally at every single level, and it works for everyone in every situation. With that being said, we are only working with 3 to 5 people, and they have to be people who are very serious, right? People who are dedicated to making this work. So if you think you're that type of person, go ahead and apply it down in the description and the pinned comment below, and you can be part of our group of 3 to 5 that we help. So see you there. Have a good one. What was the apprehension at joining the program at first? What was going through your head? What kind of stopped you from joining?
I think for me it was just the self doubt. Like even as a YouTuber, as an entrepreneur, like um, even we still struggle with the imposter syndrome
Hmm.
and the self doubt and I think that was it initially. I was like, can I do this? Am I, you know, it, and then there was a part of me like, am I in a big enough? Is my channel big enough? Right? Am I
Mm.
making enough money on my channel? Um, and the more I started to see you pop up, I was like, it doesn't matter what size channel I am, how far along I am. This is the perfect program, and this is this
Yeah.
is where I need to be. And I finally, I was like, I'm never going to go from here to here on my own. There's just no way. I just can't do it.
Okay, so you entered the program, and how was it?
Awesome. I mean, it was exactly what I needed, and I didn't. This is what I meant to say earlier. Is I I needed that business structure of YouTube, and I think anybody who's serious about YouTube and understands that YouTube is a business, right? If you're on YouTube to make money, it's a business.
Hmm.
There's a difference between I want to have a YouTube channel and I want to talk about this, talk about that. But if you're serious, you want to grow a business, sell a product or service or coach, whatever it is a business, and you have to learn to treat it like a business or you're never going to make it.
Yeah.
And so I I found out immediately from the first time I entered the program, got onboarded. I was like, okay, this is the real deal.
Hmm.
This is just not a bunch of downloads and stuff that I'm going to watch. So from the very beginning, I knew that I was in the right place. Just um, the way you guys handled the onboarding to the CSMs and everything, I was
Hmm.
like, all right, this is it. Let's get to work. The it was like going back to, I don't want to say going back to school because it's not like I was overwhelmed with work and stuff, but it was like, okay, I'm actually doing something that I want to do and something that's actually gonna improve my life, not only financially but emotionally, right? Because
Hmm.
I had serious, this is another thing too, is I had horrible anxiety up until going through this program. Literally like
Wow.
palpitating anxiety because I was my numbers were so up and down. So finally
Uh-huh.
getting into this group gave me that belief that okay, I I have a plan, right?
I think CG is amazing. I think we have a great group of people. We have great coaches and everything. I think that one sort of thing that a lot of people don't realize is how important it is to be around other people doing the same thing that you're doing, right?
Hmm.
So it's like a lot of people just really don't realize the power of that because they kind of took it for granted growing up. So if you ever got good at a sport, whether it's basketball, baseball, tennis, whatever it may be, you were probably around a bunch of other people that were doing the same sport, right?
Hmm.
And so you just kind of took it for granted, but you don't realize that if you weren't around those people, it would have been 10 times harder to get better at the sport. Same thing if you ever got good at an instrument, maybe piano, saxophone, guitar, whatever it is, you're probably around a bunch of other people who are also doing the same instrument. And that's what made it
Hmm.
so much easier to get good at the thing. You made it really far on your own. I mean, it's really impressive how far you made it just on your own. That's incredible that you were
Hmm.
able to do that. But it's just so almost impossible to make it to certain levels unless you're just around other people that are at your level or above and or relatively above your level is great too. And it's
Yeah.
like I do the same thing. Like I'm in two $50,000 masterminds last year. I'm probably going to be in two different $100,000 masterminds this year. So it's like I try to level up. I try to get around people that are up above my level or at my level and level up in my skills and my knowledge and everything. And it just makes it so much easier if you're just
Yeah.
around other people that are doing the same thing as you. I mean, even if they're not
Hmm.
like a high level, just simply just being around other people that are trying to do the same thing makes it significantly easier instead of just, being in your room making videos and stuff like that. That's a great place to start. But
Yeah.
if you ever want to like go pro or if you've tried to do that for a while and it's not working out for you, you said it took you kind of like 2 years before you made money. If you want
Yeah.
to skip the 2 years, then it's probably a good idea to just start off right away with a bunch of people
Yeah.
who are already good at the thing. And that's like one of the biggest life cheat codes is just finding like a mentor and or a group of people that are kind of doing the same thing that you're trying to get good at.
Yeah.
And so like
Hmm.
that's kind of one of the most underrated things that people don't realize how powerful that is. And yes, I think my just the course component alone, I spent 9 months creating just the course component alone. But it's also just like being around a bunch of people who are on your level or above your level and just trying to do the same thing as you. It's
Hmm.
just a magical thing happens when you're around a bunch of people like that. What was your favorite part of the program?
I think for me there was probably two main things that have really and I tell because my wife and I we talk about it all the time because my wife is she does a lot of kind of stuff for the business. So even though she doesn't get paid for it, but she's a huge Shane Hummus CGE fan. So um and so we're always she's always how's it going? How are the calls? Things like that. Um, but one of the biggest ones is just how the port I can't remember the exact portion in the CG training, but is how to really systemize all this and have a structure and have a plan because I'm not one of those people. My brain just doesn't work that way. I'm a, you know, oh, I'll do this, I'll do that. So like I had mentioned earlier with the anxiety, I mean, just having the business systemized approach
Mm-hmm.
has just catapulted everything for me. Under you know, knowing who to hire, knowing how to write a job description
Mm-hmm.
for a good editor. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that saved me a ton of time and money. I have two editors now that are just take a ton of time off my hands.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the processes that you need to go through when running a YouTube business, right? It's not as simple as make a video, upload a video. There are things that you need to have in place, but once you know those, they're easy and they're fast, and you know, and they make your life so much easier. So, have being able to just systemize my business has been great, but from the creative side and from the growth side for my channel, what you teach in the icon method and how to find the right titles, just that section alone. So just that, I don't know how many couple videos it
Mm-hmm.
was worth the price of admission for me.
Yeah.
Honestly, like
Yeah.
I'm not blowing smoke up the viewers.
Mm.
I would have gladly paid you for that. The same, you know, I would have given you my money and said, just give me this portion of the training because my entire channel within a few months of implementing just more than doubled everything,
Yeah.
views, income, everything.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that is just such a small fraction of what's in that training. And I'm also one of those people where, you know, when I signed up, I committed. I knew, hey, this is going to be my life for the next however long. So I
Mm-hmm.
went through the material pretty quick. And a lot of the material too, I actually went back and did.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you had, not to get off track, but you had mentioned earlier about having a community and having stuff. That was the key thing for me too, is that there were multiple points of contacts that I had within the community where I could reach out to people and get help, plus the weekly calls that were available to us. This isn't like and I've been in other coaching programs and stuff in the past where it's a people download a bunch of videos and then it's like a bunch of people complaining in a Facebook group. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's weird. It's like people are, you know, it's just it's a different vibe. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
these are serious people who are serious about growing their YouTube business. So you're getting the
Yeah.
support. You're getting the support from not only the members of CGE, the coaches, CSM, all that kind of stuff, but the other people within the community. I mean, I was DMing with people who were sending me, "Hey, here's a spreadsheet I use. Here's this I use, all that kind of stuff." So,
Yeah.
you know, everybody's niches are overlapping and helping, and you're also in there with somebody who, you know, I was in, you know, you have people in there who are multiple six and even sometimes seven figure earners in there who
Mm-hmm.
who are there to help you. Not that, you know, I'm communicating with them every single day, but there's lots of different various levels, and that was really the biggest jump for me. And you mentioned levels, was I definitely wasn't going to get from here to here on my own.
Revenue wise, you don't have to talk about exact numbers. You can be exact as you want or you don't want.
Yeah.
Like, but when you first joined, how much were you making approximately? And
Yeah.
when, you know, how much were you able to get to in the program?
Like I had talked about earlier, one of the biggest reasons I came here was because I don't think I mentioned this. I was one of those YouTubers that thought, oh, I've got a bunch of subscribers and I'm making money on AdSense. Like I'm doing this thing right. You know,
Hmm.
I'm doing great. And I quickly realized, you know, I was like, this isn't the way to survive on YouTube. You can't live off of AdSense. But just to give you kind of something to measure, 2024 was my worst year. Actually, the year before, um, 2023, everything was growing great. And literally 2024, it was almost like a stock market. Everything went
Mm,
down on my AdSense. So my AdSense was 49,000, whereas I came to you in April, right?
hmm.
Um,
Around there, yeah.
and we're the month isn't over. I'm at one over $101,000 in AdSense right now.
Mm,
So more than doubled. Not much of a more, but yeah, more than doubled the AdSense revenue.
hmm.
And although, yes, you don't have to rely on AdSense revenue, but as we all know, that's because what? I got more views, I got more watch time. And I'll give you guys, give you the actual, because I think these numbers are important too. Um, just the views alone, I think went up. Yeah. So total views on the channel 2024 were 3 million. 25 were over 7 million
Wow.
views. So over like 150, 100%, 160% on some of the uh the analytics and the watch time, which was a big one for me. That was another thing was my watch time was horrible.
Hmm.
And I think within like 30, 60 days of implementing, I more than doubled my watch time with CGE.
Wow.
So
That's amazing.
every
Wow.
so really, if you look at it, everything across the board started to go up. It
Gotcha.
just, yeah, and that was literally by implementing just the few things that I learned,
Hmm.
you know, which is crazy.
Got it. That's amazing. And then
Yeah.
um the AdSense is great, but we're also, you're also monetizing in other ways. Of course, you're doing affiliate
Yes.
marketing, you're doing, other things, and you actually just launched your first basically coaching offer. So you're actually taking on clients yourself now, which is awesome. And I think you've gotten your first few clients, which was kind of a big blockage, right? That was kind of a big hurdle to overcome. It always is
Yeah.
when you first start, right? The first client is by far the hardest client to get, and then it
Hmm.
just gets easier and easier from there, right? So you got your first few clients now in your coaching program,
Hmm.
which is awesome. And so I think you're probably making revenue from other things other than just AdSense, because most people kind of think when they think YouTube, they think like just AdSense or whatever, sponsorships.
Up until that 2024, things were going pretty good. The 2024 dropped. So I was right around the 10 grand mark. And since starting the program, we're well over the 20 grand a month mark when you combine
Hmm.
AdSense and affiliate. And now that I've added the coaching, I closed my first two coaching clients last week, and we started our coaching program this week, high ticket coaching, and I never would have done that on my own. There's just no
Hmm.
way. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. And I think there was ba almost immediately after joining the program, I think I helped you get a brand deal, right? That
Yes.
which was that's a,
Oh,
probably
I
about a,
forgot.
yeah, that's probably about a six figure a year brand deal almost immediately after. So you pretty much
Yeah.
got your ROI like 20
Yeah.
times over, like probably a couple weeks into joining the program. So,
We
right.
well, we were doing the math. We were doing the math the other day. So if you look at the brand deal that I got, you know what? I take that back. So the income's actually more than the 20 probably. If
Hmm.
I'm if I'm sorry, I'm not well prepared for the,
It's all
but
good.
yeah, I mean with the brand deal, which I would have never ever done it on my own because I get brand deals every day, all day, and they're just a lot of them are just garbage. But the ones that are good, I always lowball myself and I end up
Hmm.
getting screwed. So, yeah, if you just look at the brand deal alone, that doubled that, right, that two x our investment. And then I think I don't know if I shared this with you. Then I had one video that you guys helped me create that I think made my investment back already just from one video I made.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then the coaching, and then the two coaching clients more than, so yeah, I think we're about a 5x on investment, if not more by now.
If someone was, let's just say someone's watching this and they're kind of on the edge, right? They're on the fence. Like, should I jump into the program? Should I join CGE? Should I get coached by Shane and his team? And they're kind of just on the fence. They're not quite sure. What would you say to that person?
Gosh, I mean, obviously it's a no-brainer. I mean, it really, really is. And this is somebody who, from somebody who's been doing this since 2017, and I've been doing this a long time. I've been doing it full time for over 5 years. And like I mentioned earlier in the interview, prior to coming in with Shane, I was making full-time income and I thought I knew what I was doing, but once I got it, I had no clue what I was doing. And as you just heard, I mean, literally 5x. But so it's a no-brainer, that's for sure. But I think somebody who's kind of on the fence, maybe you're somebody who's new to YouTube, you're thinking about YouTube. YouTube has changed big time, right? And if you are somebody who first of all, if you're watching this, you're one of the smart ones. You know that YouTube is the place to be, right? You know that
Hmm.
this is where it's at, where it's going. And if you're serious about building a business, building a brand, whatever it is you're trying to do, trying to accomplish, you need that coach, right? You need that support, that team, that community around you. But you also need those systems in place. Because as I had mentioned before, it's not just making a video and uploading a video. And that's what a lot of people think they're like, oh, I'll just record this video, I'll put it up, or I'll just record that video that person made that got a million views and I'll make it. And they
Yeah.
quickly realize there's a lot more going on. So I think if you're one of those people that you understand that YouTube's a place to be, you know that and even if you don't have an idea really of what you want to do, Shane's team can help you figure that out, which is cool too. So
Hmm.
it's a no-brainer, especially what we were talking about earlier with the economy and the job market. It's when you treat YouTube like a business and you learn how to do it from what Shane teaches in the content growth engine, and you commit and you follow the steps. I mean, I I truly believe you can't fail.
Yeah, I love all of that, and I think the part about the niche is especially important because even really advanced people, like people who are have hundreds of thousands of subscribers on YouTube, people that even have businesses sometimes, so they even have they know what they're selling.
Mhm.
Versus, or even beginners, people who are on other platforms that are trying to come on YouTube, almost everybody has issues with niche, right? So whether it's you're
Mhm.
picking your niche right from the beginning, or you're considering pivoting niches, or you're considering like, okay, should I niche down? Should I expand? And then there's also the idea of like, okay, you might make a certain type of video to attract a certain audience, but only a small percentage of that audience is going to be good for the product you're selling. So that's another consideration, which is very similar to the niche. There's lots
Mhm.
of different types of channels out there. A really good example is like Ryan Serhant, just a really good example of a
Mhm.
channel. He is a real estate agent that basically sells like, 10, 20, 50, $100 million properties. So a very tiny percentage of the people who watch his channel are part of his target demographic of who he's trying to reach.
Yeah.
And so he's reaching this much more mass market audience, but a very small pocket of his channel are at the actual people he's trying to sell and the people that he's, trying to get these buildings in front of. And so,
Mhm.
there's a lot of considerations like that. That's kind of an extreme example, but a lot of different channels are a bit different where there's these considerations where that's the kind of thing that we really thrive in helping people figure out is like, okay, what product or service you're going to sell,
Mhm.
what is your market, what is your niche inside of the market, and you're going to get views. They come for the X, they stay for the Y, and they buy for the Z, right? Those three things can be
Yeah.
different, and sometimes they can be the exact same thing. Sometimes the XYZ is the same. And sometimes all three of those things can be different. This is the kind of thing we help people with all the time, right? And it's really, really a fun thing to help people with is like really dialing that in, the niche, the channel, the viewers, the product, all that. It's really fun to help people dial that in and align that. And yeah, that's actually the thing that I really find that's actually super fun, like
Mhm.
consulting with people and trying to help them dial in. And it's one of those things where a lot of the time the answer is already within them. I just have to help them
Sure.
dig it out of themselves. That's it. Like it's already within them. I just have to help them get it out of themselves. And I always give the example of like the accounting niche because I've worked with a lot of accountants for some reason. You know, in the accounting niche, you can help people with accounting classes. There's people making full-time incomes doing that. Yeah, there's just like so many different niches and sub niches where we can help people and there's you can give them so much value and help them get 10x return than what they paid you, right? And it's just
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
those things where it's just an absolute no-brainer for them to join your program and help you whether you're selling just a course in some cases or a coaching program or you're doing affiliate marketing or just doing
Hmm.
free content on YouTube and helping people with free content. Sometimes that business model works too. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's YouTube is just it's such a wonderful place. I pretty much grown up on YouTube. I learned almost everything I know from YouTube, just watching random different channels, and it's been like a second set of parents to me, so just watching YouTube. So is there anything I should have asked you, but I didn't?
I don't think there's anything, I will, one thing I will say that you had just mentioned, you were talking about the niches and some of the different examples and stuff. When I came to CGE, I knew that I needed help, right? I knew that I needed help systemizing. I needed a plan. I needed to figure this out. And I needed to get my income back to where it was. But my goal was obviously my long-term income goal was obviously to more than double that. And I'm on track to doing that. But
Hmm.
um, even though excuse me, even though I had my niche, the kind of work from home type thing, I really was unclear of my direction. So you and your team helped me kind of really nail that down. And I've been on YouTube a long time and I still am kind of like, all right, where am I going? What should I be doing? So you guys really helped me with that. So I think anybody who's kind of unclear, they're clear, but they're not real clear. There's so much more than just the actual video side of YouTube that you guys help with, which is great. I would have never started this coaching program if I wasn't in CGE. There's just no way. And what a few phone calls made my investment back, which is
Hmm.
crazy. But I
Right.
wouldn't have had that. I wouldn't have had that structure. I wouldn't have thought, oh, I'm going to start coaching people. So you guys also helped me kind of open the doors to other things that I was always capable of doing. I just didn't know how to get there. And
Yeah.
it wasn't a thought in my head.
By the way, guys, check out a live training we're doing this Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to basically see how everything works, you get to ask me questions for at least an hour, see how the entire program works. And then I'll also literally reveal the most important things when it comes to growing on YouTube. I talk about these things a lot, video ideas, the most important thing. I'll show you how to find the uh, the best video ideas. I'll show you how to kind of dial in your niche, right? So the most important things when it comes to growing on YouTube, check out the live training this Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time by clicking the link in the description and the pinned comment below. I do have to jump off.
All
Great
right.
call, Judd, and we'll have
My
some
pleasure.
more great calls soon. Yeah, thanks so much for jumping on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you too. Take
All right.
care.